as we get this cracking, my position is report Andrea Michelle Stewart to the proper authorities. You know that Andrea is obsessed with me, and all I want her to do is show the goddamn documents. I'm not giving Photon a goddamn thing. I'm not giving money to coerce somebody and showing some shit they shouldn't even be having in the first fucking place. I've done my due diligence. Hey man, I'm telling people they need to report. Just my situation, my position now is report. Report Bureau of Behavioral Sciences. Report. Report to your local report. Report to El Coujon, wherever she's at, report. Report to anything she's associated with, report. Report. Look, she wants to report on everybody. I don't care how frivolous it could be. We have record. She's calling people, and we can hear the conversations, but she's out of touch, and she's still reporting. Like, if she can report on us, why can't we report back?
Anti-Afro Svengalis. The first question I have is, what is new? What is new with what Dumpsy D. Derell said here in June 2025? He's been saying that for 7 years? But here's the thing. He doesn't have any more money to pay people to reward them for making, like he said, frivolous reports. He wants you to report me for frivolous purposes. And I don't give a damn what kind of purpose it is, whether he reports me or not. Because what happened is what was going to happen. Nothing. Not a single thing. And he up and stole all that money from the feds, from the dead, from people who he perpetrated as if he was going to help them. He only had them in there so he can get their information and use it to false fake billing, to violate the False Claims Act, resulting in the 9-count indictment, 5 counts of healthcare fraud, 4 counts of aggravated identity theft. So I want to make sure the message is clear. Dumpsy D. Derell supports reporting. He's done it for the past 7+ years, and he's coming on again in June 2025 to tell you he endorses reporting. So he's supporting me. Isn't that the logic? He's supporting me and what I'm going to tell you what's going to go down. So just to revisit, so we're on the same page, there is a motion that is pending. Dumpsy D. Derell, through his lawyer, submitted a motion to the court begging Judge Bennett to shit on his own orders and use it for toilet paper. That's what he did. Judge Bennett told Dumpsy to close that sham-ass practice on or before November 1st, and he can't bill Medicaid or Medicare directly or indirectly. That's a condition of release. So now Dumpsy wants it all shit canned. That's where we are right now. So here's what I have to say. Factually speaking, that motion went in December 4th. The prosecutors have 21 days to respond to the motion. And you had better believe I'm going to cover it. All 4 corners of each page. After the prosecution submits their response, then the judge is going to issue a ruling thereafter. I'm going to cover that, all 4 corners of each page. This is something that we absolutely have a front seat to. Front and center. Somebody was so mad and said, it ain't got nothing to do with her. It doesn't. I am part of the USA. This is USA versus Spears. Dumpsy D. Derell has a special qualification that nobody can look at what's happening with his case. Sorry, YouTube rules as far as these freaks go is a bunch of bullshit. Something I never signed on to, something I never would sign on to. This is 100% free access, public access. We have a right to the information, and we can talk about it, and we'll talk about it as often as we damn well please. Now, I want to go back to the probation officer, because Dumpsy's lawyer said that probation officer didn't have any issue with Dumpsy resuming the bullshit he was doing before. being given access to highly sensitive information. So he can take that information and build on it from here on into eternity. He didn't have any problem with that. Well, here's what I have to say. If anybody is to be contacted at this point in time, it would be the probation officer. This is ridiculous. What else would this probation officer be convinced of from Dempsey D. Derell? Well, I intend to find out. I'm not sure if this is a regularly assigned probation officer, but it doesn't matter. What probation officer who's being responsible is going to allow the defendant continued access to the wares of his crime? So that probation officer or the federal court system, wouldn't they be liable if Dempsey got a hold of people's information and continued doing what he was doing? I think it's derelict. I think it's irresponsible for you to sign on to an opportunity for Dempsey D. Derell to continue stealing. You're supposed to set people up for success, not failure. So if anybody is going to get a communication, it's going to be that probation officer at this point in time. As far as contacting ThriveWorks and Rula and Headway, it doesn't make any sense to contact them now. They are going to be contacted, like I stated before. I don't think they know what's going on, and I'm going to make sure they know exactly what's going on, because Dempsey D. Derell absolutely demonstrates his unwillingness to even consider that he just might be in the wrong. He's already been nabbed for doing this. But he just did what? Turned around and kept doing it again. So if he's going to turn around and keep doing it again, more people need to know about it. And I also think that the news is a great source to help this situation get out to the masses, especially with the probation officer signing on to an opportunity for someone who's already been cold busted to continue stealing from the public, from dead people, from the federal government. I don't know what's with the caseload with this person. She didn't really look at the orders. I mean, what's the deal? Did you not have a conversation to see what really is going on? How can she have even seriously considered this situation as being potentially valid? Like I stated, we're going to find out exactly how each side looks at this. And this for sure will be a newsworthy item should this motion be granted. Under what circumstances, we have to wait and see. But the news media definitely needs to be on board. He wants to go business as usual and still has that advertisement up there for that business. Why didn't the probation officer do something about that? Now, when you're talking about reporting, this is not frivolous. These are court orders that are in place that are being ignored. So if Dempsey feels frivolous reporting is okay, he can't possibly have a problem with factual reporting, even if it applies to him. He's all on board with false reporting with respect to me and paying people to make false reports. He's all on board with people spreading all these lies about Rev G and Nyla and Taz and any and everybody who supports us, even innocent bystanders. So he has to be on board with us reporting the truth about him. Here we have another potential example of professionals falling down on the job. This is just downright irresponsible. I'm going to be in contact with both of these probation officers, inquiring about what the hell is going on. Whether they respond to me or not, I am definitely going to be sending that communication. I am not going to interfere. I'm not going to head them off at the pass by contacting these agencies. Either way it goes, the motion is still going to get a response and a decision. But I don't want to disrupt the process. I am going to wait for the decisions to come out. I'm going to wait for the response of the prosecutor and the decision of Judge Bennett. Because based on Dempsey's logic, I'm fully justified. It's what he does. It's what he did for how many years, and he paid people to do it, to file frivolous claims and reports and issues, accusations, you name it, he did it. He stole the money from the feds and the deads to do it. Whatever I did, I didn't have to steal what? What do I need to steal anything to do anything for? This shows you the sheer desperation that Dempsey had to try to beat me when there was no way in hell he ever was and certainly never could. You can't beat me, Dempsey D. Derell. You beat yourself at your own sick, disgusting game by stealing. And let's not forget, he started stealing before he knew I even existed. He just needed another reason to steal, which tells you this is a long-term problem. Give me any minute, minuscule reason to steal money and I'm off to the races. That's Dempsey D. Derell's mindset. So let me tell you, after Judge Bennett hands down his ruling, straight up, I will be in contact with ThriveWorks, with Rula, and with Headway. You mean to tell me Dempsey D. Derell told them he's under a 9-count indictment for healthcare fraud and an aggravated identity theft, and they said business as usual, let's go? Hell no. He's giving them some lying ass excuse as to why he can't take clients right now. As I stated in the last video, he's staying the hell away from these folks where he claims to have pre-existing contracts. He doesn't want to go through the recredentialing process because they're going to start searching around and digging around. And if they see his name flowing through the system, they're going to get, wait a minute, somebody's going to know, wait, this name is, I think I know something about this dude. The name I've seen somewhere. Yes, indeed. So the true juicy, succulent content, Photon. You said you wanted content, right? Either way it goes, it's a process that is an absolute necessity. If you want to take it as content, take it as content, but it's boring for me to call Headway, Rula, and ThriveWorks to report what? I mean, they're not going to have a conversation with me, and I don't trust conversations because people like to claim things weren't told. People like to claim they don't recall that you reached out to them. I don't even deal with that. If I'm going to make a phone call, it will be to confirm the contact person who is to receive this information. If I don't get an acknowledgement, because typically we get acknowledgement of what we send. If there's no acknowledgement, we'll call to see what happened with the information and then get the proper contact person and then send their information on. I have never been a person to pick up the phone and start calling around. Yeah, I'll call law enforcement and I might record that, but there's no need for me to pick up a phone and call any of these 3 agencies. I will be sending documentation in, but that is not going to happen until after Judge Bennett's ruling. Because I think Dempsey, either way, will try to find somehow, some way to continue violating Judge Bennett's order. And that's something I intend to get in the middle of. So we have nothing at this point from the prosecutors, as I stated. We're in a holding pattern. I'm fine with that. There's no rush. There's no hurry. The indictment is the indictment. What is the indication that the shit's going to get dismissed? It's not going to get dismissed. This is what was filed on Dempsey D. Derell. It was not filed on Rev G. It was not filed on me. It was not filed on AFW friends or supporters or even innocent bystanders. It was filed on Dempsey D. Derell Spears. He is the one who has been ripping off the taxpayer, the feds, dead people he perpetrated as if he wanted to help them. That's what Dempsey D. Derell did. And he did it because he needed to look a certain way, in his view, on YouTube. He needed to pay people to file frivolous complaints against me, against Rev G, against AFW, friends and supporters, innocent bystanders. The list goes on. I'm looking for the proper timing as to when the media should be notified, because his practice is not closed. He's up here trying to continue stealing. And Lord have mercy, if they grant him permission to resume stealing from Medicaid and Medicare, it's going to be snap, quick order. Snappity, lickety, split order that the media is going to be brought in. They need to know. Again, Dempsey D. Derell should have no objection because this is what he was doing for all these years. He was paying people to put out all kinds of false information about us, harass us, attack us, have us threatened, and all this stuff, he can't possibly have an objection to us speaking the truth. If he does, guess whose problem that is? Dumpsy D. Derell's. Folks, you know I got much more coming your way. In the meantime, buyer beware.